Welcome, Bowels of Netflix listeners, to a bonus adventure in the colon. Today we will be doing a deep dive of a movie we have covered in one of our recent episodes. So stay warm, stay wet, and stay stinky. And we'll stay right here with you, filling your ear holes with shit. Alright, welcome to a bonus adventure in the colon, part of the Bowels of Netflix. I'm Isaac, and with me, as always, is my fearless co-host, Larry. How are you doing this week, Larry?
Now, Isaac, I am always, as much as I hate watching the movies, I'm always very excited to record. I have never been more excited to record an episode in the history of this show.
Fully tumescent?
I am like 3/4. I thought about masturbating this morning and didn't because I wanted to be rock solid to talk about Steven Seagal for what I hope is 9 hours.
Masturbation challenge. Try to masturbate to conclusion while looking at pictures of Steven Seagal.
It's impossible. No one has ever done it except for Steven Seagal.
Oh my god.
Oh, so, this is so exciting.
We covered Sniper Special Ops last week. This will probably come out in the middle of the week or something like that. Which is a terrible Steven Seagal vehicle.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's his full display of ineptitude is just paramount.
Remarkable.
The entire movie. Yeah. But yeah, so we decided to learn everything we could about the man, and there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, if you listen back to Code of Honor, which I believe was episode 5 or 7, I'm terrible with memory, which is another Steven Seagal movie that Isaac gave me to watch early on in our careers. Isaac talked about in that episode about how he fell down a Steven Seagal research hole. So truly, something about us seeing this man just invites this wealth of knowledge there is to have about him, because it is an incredible amount of facts that are utterly baffling about this strange direct-to-DVD man.
He is a treat. He's a treat. He's also an awful man.
Oh, yeah, it's the worst.
He was born on April 10th, 1952, so he's 68 years old. He's a pretty aged man.
Yes.
And of course, he's still, I think Sniper Special Ops and Code of Honor both came out around like 5 years ago, I'm pretty sure. So he was already
16.
in his 60s when he was doing that. So, yeah, and still pretending to be the biggest badass in the world, which is utterly ridiculous.
I mean, at least as a sniper, you do a lot of sitting. So it's like, okay, yeah, you're an old man, fine. But the fact that like they had him fake drag person that he couldn't even do.
He couldn't. And he had to have a stunt double to walk up a flight of stairs. Fucking goddamn clown.
Oh, God.
So he, in his youth, went to Japan and studied Aikido.
He was born in Michigan, in the United States.
Yes.
Because that will come up.
Yep. He's, his heritage is an odd thing he's talked about. But he did study Aikido, which is a martial art of kind of self-defense where you turn the other person's energy against them.
So
I'm sure there's some people who take it seriously.
I looked into Aikido a little bit. Now, I don't want to disparage any. I can't do any. If a fight were to happen, I'm just a brawler. I'm a big burly idiot, fat with big ham hands, and I'm just looking to punch people in the face if I get into a fight. I will die against any real martial artist. I mean, for any reason.
Of course.
That said, Aikido, from what I understand, and I'm not going to go too deep into it, my general understanding is it's a martial art that's good against other people who are using Aikido, and maybe other martial arts, and about nothing else.
Yeah.
Now, could a guy who knows Aikido destroy me? 100,000%. That said, I think it's of the least valuable martial arts in the real world.
And especially the way Steven Seagal performs it, and he often performs it.
Yes, especially the older he gets.
It is the fakest of fake bad wrestling moves, where it's clear the other people are doing all the work. and he's just pretending.
You can find some clips very easily of him performing as an old man, and it looks like bad WWE wrestling. Like, really, really bad.
Yeah, it is. It's sad. It is sad.
It's quite pathetic.
So, he started his career as like a stunt coordinator in the early 80s, I believe.
And
he wasn't actually on
everyone
screen.
hated him.
Oh, yeah. He broke Sean Connery's wrist, apparently, on the set of the last Bond film that Connery did. Mm-hmm. So, he's just not very good at his job.
No.
Somehow, I don't even know how it got started, but he ended up in action movies in the late 80s. I think the first one came out in 88.
Yeah,
and his biggest success was Under Siege, 1992. It made $150 million box office. And on Rotten Tomatoes, it actually has a 79% critic score. And on IMDb, it's a 6.5. So that's actually pretty good. I've never seen that movie, but it's supposed to be a good movie.
Yeah, I think it's, as far as action movies go, it's supposed to be fairly solid. I've never seen it either.
Gary Busey and Tommy Lee Jones are in it, and they were already pretty big at the time. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a very serious movie. And then over the next several years, he did like an Under Siege 2 Electric Boogaloo that was awful, and a few other theatrical releases that just performed worse and worse at the box office and were panned more and more by critics. And then by the late 90s,
he had a very brief window where his movies did okay. Now, they're action movies, and he was in a ring with the likes of Schwarzenegger and Stallone. So he was, like, briefly a contender as, like, a monetizable action movie star.
Yeah, he was definitely, for a spell, was in the top 5
because,
action
like,
guys.
Beyond Under Siege did well, Beyond the Law did well. So he had, like, a couple of hits early on that were, like, people were like, okay, hey, this guy might be something.
But by the late 90s...
They could not be more wrong.
All his movies turned into direct-to-VHS, direct-to-DVD, direct-to-streaming pieces of schlock, and just got worse and worse. And we've each seen one of them now, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
Utterly terrible. But Steven Seagal is a very interesting man.
That is a way to put it.
The variety of stories about him is so strange and compelling. That's why, like, every time he comes up, I want to know more about him. It's
a staggering amount of things about him that, like, bizarrely cobble together to make this weird picture of a deeply interesting and deeply, deeply flawed man.
Yes, he's also very full of himself, pretentious. He thinks he's the biggest badass in the world.
Yeah, we've talked about that briefly in the episodes where we've done Seagal movies, but, like, he has the highest opinion of himself and his skills and his ability to do anything he wants, basically.
Yep, and pretty much all of the stories we're going to talk about are related to that fact, that he thinks he is the best human being that ever lived.
It's his most defining characteristic. Isaac, you made a really good point in I believe it was the Code of Honor, or I'm sorry, the Sniper Special Ops episode where you compared him to Trump, how they have this ability to just, like, forge ahead with facts they create in their own head and then believe it so hard that they try to make it into reality. The difference is Donald Trump is able to make that into reality, whereas Steven Seagal just keeps screaming into the wind, and everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about, you ape man?
There is enough people who do believe in him.
He has
and trust him.
His Facebook. I looked up his Facebook. Now it's it's an actor's Facebook account, so he's not posting pictures of his dog and shit. But it has 6,059,000 fans.
Jesus,
that is a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh God.
I have to assume I'm gonna say at least 1 million of them follow him for comedy. I really hope that's the case.
Yeah.
I really hope that's the case.
All right, so let's start just diving into some of these stories. We'll
probably do things in no particular order. It's with the spaghetti episode, we kind of had a very easy beginning to end when we do, like, a deep dive on a specific person. Spaghetti being Kevin DeChico. We call him Spaghetti DeCoco, his real God-given Christian name.
That is his name.
when we did that episode. This is not quite going to be the same because I don't think if we tried to piece Steven Seagal's life together from beginning to end, I think this genuinely would be a 9-hour episode. So we're just going to look at some of the hits. And dear God, there's so many.
Did I tell you about the homeless guy who saw me in my Spaghetti de Coco shirt?
No, what are you talking about?
So for Christmas, Lara got me a Spaghetti de Coco t-shirt, custom made.
Yeah.
That has New Jersey Airbuds and the Airbud logo on front. And on back, it says spaghetti in like number 20 or whatever. So, yeah, I was coming out of a store, and there's this crusty old homeless guy who just walks up to me and is like, "Oh, what team is that?" And I was very frightened. I was like, it's a joke. It's an inside joke for my friend. I gotta go. Bye."
You should have invited. That could have been your first player.
Yeah, we could have started a team.
Listen, my dream is that one day you stop doing this podcast because you have like an inner city youth basketball team called the New Jersey Airbuds.
It'll all be dogs.
They don't know anything about basketball. It's just you bringing a bunch of dogs to an auditorium that cause chaos.
That sounds
We
about
can't
right.
kick him out of the league. He brings people in. But anyway, that was Spaghetti. This is Steven Seagal.
Steven, we're just going to have like a dozen stories and snippets of his life. And so the first one.
And these
the
are just the
title,
hits. There is so many.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
The article title for this is Movie Star Declared a Lama. Seagal elevated to sacred status in Tibetan Buddhism.
And that's llama like the Dalai Lama, not the animal. Although I would like to declare him a llama, the animal.
He's more of an alpaca.
Yeah, I don't think he could muster the saliva to spit.
Probably not. Penor Rinpoche, I'm definitely not pronouncing that right, is a venerated Tibetan monk, believed to be the reincarnation of Indian monk Vimalatria? Jesus, I don't know. But he recognized Steven Seagal as the reincarnation of Chungreng Dorje, a treasure revealer who founded a Tibetan monastery. Apparently, he's the 17th reincarnation of Chungreng Dorje. And there were, of course, accusations that he was only recognized as this reincarnation after he donated a significant amount of money to
Shocker.
a Tibetan church. But, of course, Steven Seagal's publisher is like, we don't know anything about that. He's a reincarnated monk. So it's like just getting an empty fucking title. Like there's this ad I saw, but you can buy 1 square foot of land in Scotland, so you can technically be a lord because you're a property owner in Scotland.
That's fake. And I only know that because I spent 12 hours looking into it in a past life. Because Isaac, a deep, deep thing of mine is I've always wanted to be called a duke. And I looked into becoming a duke, and it's all fakey fake bullshit.
Okay. Well, yep, that sounds about right, because I'm pretty sure this is fakey fake bullshit, too.
I mean, even if, like, it doesn't mean anything. It's like an honorary doctorate.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
But, of course, Steven Seagal is very proud of that fact.
Yeah.
God.
Just swelled his manhole cover sized head even larger.
This is my favorite story headline about him.
It is unbelievable. I didn't know about until this morning, and I'm fucking blown away.
The article title, Actor Steven Seagal sued for driving tank into Arizona home, killing puppy. So, Seagal had a show on A&E, I forget what it was called.
Steven Seagal, Lawman.
Yeah, where he goes around and does police stuff, and I guess actually was deputized.
Yeah, he's like an honorary reserve deputy of fucking Maricopa County, Arizona, I want to say.
Yeah, I guess it's Phoenix, I think, is the city in that county. So, and of course, the only sheriff who has any national recognition is tied to this story. Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who, unless you're insane, you know is a monster of a human being.
He's I believe his official title is torturer.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stories of him abusing prisoners, especially in the heat and the desert, and terrible, terrible things. But of course, Steven Seagal was accompanying Sheriff Joe Arpaio on a raid on an Arizona man suspected of cockfighting. Which almost seems humorous until you think about the police driving into your own home with a tank and killing your dog, which is what happened when Seagal drove a tank into Jesus Lovera's house.
He was suspected of hosting a cockfighting ring, and Joe Arpaio and Steven Seagal saddled up in a tank and drove it into the house. Not drove to the driveway, drove it into the house.
Utterly insane.
It's
and dangerous.
The most batshit crazy thing I've ever heard.
How could this possibly be? There's something wrong with this country.
If that happened to me and he killed my dog, I would go to jail for murdering the man who drove a tank into my dog. Because that would be my sole mission in life.
Right, and like you said, it's a cockfighting ring. It's shitty. It's illegal for a reason. But
if they were like, he's building bombs and we have evidence and they drove a tank in, I'd be like, okay, well, it's still overkill,
right.
But,
yes,
it's not.
Yes, he's not a threat to any person's life or well-being.
No. It's just these two fucking big boys wanted to wave their cocks around. Not their cockfighting. They wanted to wave their dicks around and show how cool they were by driving a fucking tank into there. It's just disgusting.
Seagal, you goddamn clown. And so that was almost 10 years ago, I think 2011. He's still at it with some of this crazy bullshit, because this just happened within the last year or two. So actor Steven Seagal charged with unlawfully touting digital asset offering. I pulled this directly from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's website. The SEC's order finds that Seagal failed to disclose he was promised $250,000 in cash and $750,000 of B2G tokens in exchange for his promotions, which included posts on his public social media accounts encouraging the public to not miss out on Bitcoin 2Gen's ICO, which is like initial offering, and a press release titled Zen Master Steven Seagal has become the brand ambassador of Bitcoin 2Gen.
Somewhere in Nirvana, Buddha is clutching at his chest having a heart attack. That Zen Master is in the same title as fucking cryptocurrency.
Oh, God.
So they paid him. I have a toe into the cryptocurrency world. And so there's new cryptocurrencies all the time. And they just paid him a bunch of money to fucking promote it. And when you do that, you have to tell the government you've been paid. You have to tell the government and the people that you are promoting it to that they gave you money to do this, and you're not just like doing it because you think it's great.
Yeah, it's basically insider trading.
Yeah.
Which is what Martha Stewart went to prison for.
Yes.
And yeah, it's the insane white-collar crime that people get away with all the time. And this is actually stealing an incredible amount of money and wealth from other people.
Yeah.
It's a fucking racket. Mm-hmm. And Steven Seagal's caught up in it, of course.
Of course, yeah, right. He's... God. That was this year. That was February of this year that came out.
Okay, I didn't realize it was even that recent.
Mm-hmm. February 27th. I mean, it probably happened earlier, but that's like when it was resolved. And he had to end up paying about $315,000 back. So, He
still came up on the deal, unless
Bitcoin. I mean, the tokens.
Like
if the currency did well, maybe. But I mean, I guarantee he has no idea how to work it. So
he's got someone who can do that for him.
God, he probably does.
He's got an assistant.
What's his net worth? Do you have that somewhere? Can we find his net worth?
I think I pulled it up. It was like $8 million.
That's such a hard stat to find because like a lot of those websites are so fake.
Right, yeah. But that seems about right. Like I'm sure he has money, but he's not one of the wealthier people.
Right.
Of celebrity.
No. Ugh.
And oh god. So he has an interesting relationship with Russia.
And this is the thing where even those of you who've never heard of Steven Seagal, outside of us talking about him, like in your regular lives, if you've never heard about Steven Seagal, this is where you may have heard about him a little bit.
Yeah, and this, I think this happened in 2016, so this is all in the middle of whatever the fuck was going on with Russia and the Trump campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Seagal was directly related to it, but
there's no way, because he is too dumb. He's too dumb to, no, not even the dumbest of people would trust Steven Seagal in the inner circle of, an election scam.
I'd be surprised with the Trump administration. I think they could do it.
I feel like but I mean, they're crafty and evil, but I don't think they're stupid. And telling Steven Seagal your evil plan is got to be the dumbest decision any human being could make. Because he, just as we'll see with some of these other stories, he cannot keep his fucking mouth shut. And it's a known fact.
So, and yeah, I don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes, but Vladimir Putin is definitely trying to, in some way, manipulate American society.
Oh, absolutely.
And Steven Seagal is part of that, because Putin personally presented Steven Seagal with citizenship and a Russian passport. And there was a whole big news thing about it. And you know a little more about his status, right?
Yeah.
As an envoy?
So he was granted citizenship in 2016. There's a video of him signing, him and Putin meeting and signing it, and he's sucking Putin's dick basically. And in 2018, the Russian Foreign Ministry made an announcement via Facebook, because that's how fucking shit's done now, that Steven Seagal, who is a Russian citizen, has been appointed as a special representative of the Russian Foreign Ministry in charge of Russian-U.S. humanitarian ties.
Good Christ.
Now, I think much like being called a llama, I don't think that means anything.
Right.
I don't think they give him a paycheck. I mean, I'm sure Russia's paying him something. But I don't think he, draws a Russian paycheck from their fucking government, probably. I'm sure there's no way I'll be able to find that information without knowing somebody in the FBI, I assume. But, it just, because Seagal loves Vladimir Putin. Absolutely loves him. He's called him one of the greatest living world leaders, and he hopes that his dual citizenship will help Russia and America come closer together.
Yeah, and Vladimir Putin is very, I think, very similar to Seagal and Trump in a lot of ways, but he's smart enough and conniving enough to be successful at everything.
Yeah, he's the smart version of the idiots we have.
Yeah, he has this somewhat fake persona as a tough guy, and has all these video of him shirtless riding a horse or swimming in a river or something. Mm-hmm. So he puts out that kind of fake bullshit, but at the same time he was a KGB agent.
Yeah. No, he's very crafty.
Legitimately a badass and terrifying.
Yeah. And he knows the exact way to manipulate things to his agenda. And he has a country and a government system that allows him to do whatever he wants. So just keep an eye on that, America.
Yeah, Trump and Seagal are drawn to the man because he's the successful version of them.
Right, yeah. No, he is everything they want to be. Steven Seagal wants to be considered the world's greatest badass. He's convinced that he is. Oh, God.
And in many ways, Putin is the world's greatest badass. Which, I mean, it's not exactly a compliment.
No.
He's a terrible man.
No. It's a scary thought, really.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just appreciating his career, it's, what's the word? Admirable? Not admirable.
Respectable. No.
Impressive.
Impressive. That's it. Impressive.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so that he draws people that inflated sense of ego and this is what success looks like. He draws them like flies, and that is Steven Seagal to a T.
And in response to all this Russia stuff, there's another article headline: Ukraine bans Steven Seagal as a threat to national security. So he's permanently banned from going to Ukraine. Yeah,
he's they don't want him. Believe it or not.
I think because Seagal was very supportive of Putin, especially during the annexation of Crimea, which is a small
portion of Ukraine that Russia just kind of yoinked back.
Yeah.
It's like, it's ours now. Mm-hmm. And the world just kind of shrugged and was like, well, whatever. God.
Yeah, man.
Oh, and now one of probably the funniest story about Seagal. This is from Jean LaBelle's Wikipedia page. LaBelle is a famous, I guess, is he a martial artist or just like an MMA trainer?
I believe he's a martial artist. I think I think one led into the other.
Okay. But his career is in that kind of
judo,
stuff.
jiu-jitsu, catch wrestling, which catch wrestling is like sort of more martial art-y.
So, from Jean LaBelle's Wikipedia page, while serving as stunt coordinator for the film Out for Justice, starring Steven Seagal, Seagal claimed that due to his Aikido training, he was immune to being choked unconscious.
Which, that right there, I mean, come on.
How... Explain that, Steven. Explain how.
Oh my god.
Damn it. It has been alleged that at some point, LaBelle heard about the claim and gave Seagal the opportunity to prove it. LaBelle is said to have placed his arms around Seagal's neck, and once Seagal said go, LaBelle proceeded to choke him unconscious, with Seagal losing control of his bowels.
He shat himself.
He passed out immediately and shat himself. I'm the toughest guy in the world. No one can choke me out. Oh,
but
fucking goddamn clown.
So yeah, this is back in the days of, like, when was Out for Justice? 91.
80s? 91. Okay.
So this is in the days of, like, this is where he was kind of rising to popularity, and he was becoming a popular stunt coordinator until he, his first movie was, what was his first movie? 89?
88 or 89.
Okay, so this is in his heyday, air quotes. And this is when everyone realizes that they hate Steven Seagal. And for most people, that's never changed. Because he, like we've been saying, he is an egotistical asshole and impossibly hard to work with. So there is another man named Robert Wall. Now, yeah, Jean LaBelle, like, he trained a lot of MMA fighters. He trained Ronda Rousey. They're good friends still. She's a big enough name that people would probably know her. I believe he's also, like, worked with and trained Chuck Norris, people like that. So another martial artist, Robert Wall, who he's not really very influential, but in the martial arts world, he was somebody which, for most people don't know shit about that. But he is particularly famous for his public rivalry with Steven Seagal, this Robert Wall, which provoked a series of challenges between the two between 1988 and 1992. And this story blows my fucking mind, and I would give anything to see this. So it started when Seagal made disparaging commentaries about Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, and other American martial arts in interviews, culminating in 2 articles in the Black Belt magazine where he claimed he would fight to the death anyone who believed they could defeat him.
Fighting to the death is murder. It is murder. Might be second-degree murder, but it's murder.
So this Robert Wall guy gathered a group of martial artists willing to answer the challenge, nicknamed the Dirty Dozen. And they offered LaBelle a position in there, but he's like, I got no time for this nonsense. And they had like a whole, there was like a martial art community thing for a couple of years, but Steven Seagal, believe it or not, never accepted any of the challenges of the 12 people who were like, yeah, we'll fight your ass to the death, you fucking idiot.
I can't believe he never accepted.
Yeah, believe it or not, he never accepted it. So that just the fact that he went out in this magazine and was like, yeah, I can just take anyone and I'll fight him to the death to prove it.
Fucking clown.
And that was when his career was in its fullest swing. That is when he had the best chance of actually following up on those claims. Like, that's when he was in shape and, like, he could move around, and he was a semi-believable action star where people were like, okay, yeah, he could definitely kick our ass. Yeah, sure. That was
and he's a big man. He's like 6'4" or something.
Yeah.
And he used to be skinny.
Yeah.
He was never, like, muscly.
No.
Like Stallone or Schwarzenegger.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be actually on display, because we're going to watch a video together. Obviously, this is an audio form, so we're going to, I'll trim out some of the audio. But Steven Seagal runs like a girl. Let's go ahead and watch that.
Okay.
Oh, stupid ad. Damn it.
Well, tell me when to start. We'll have to chop this up.
Okay. I'm starting now.
Okay.
Just the way
What in the world?
his little arms flail around.
Oh my god, he looks ridiculous.
It's so
What
bizarre.
what in the name of God? His arms are flapping around like they're made of noodles.
And he's awkwardly not muscular.
No. Oh, look. He looks ridiculous.
It
looks like his arms are like Muppet arms that are stapled to his side.
They're just flapping around.
What in the fucking world?
He thinks he is the coolest person in the entire world.
He does.
It's unbelievable.
Oh my Lord Almighty. He just looks ridiculous.
It's not exactly the coolest thing to say, oh, you throw like a girl or you run like a girl. It's a little sexist, but in this case, I think it's valid. Oh, Steven. And, okay, so now this is probably my favorite thing.
Now, this is something I knew nothing about. This entirely comes from your research, and you have been talking about it all the time.
In 2005, Steven Seagal launched an energy drink called Steven Seagal's Lightning Bolt. I found it on Amazon, but it's out of stock. I don't think they're producing it anymore.
We gotta drink it. We gotta get it and drink it.
It's gonna be so bad.
We gotta get it and drink it though. We have to.
The description on Amazon, and of course every energy drink description is ridiculous.
Sure.
But contains Tibetan goji berries and Asian cordyceps that fortify the immune system, decrease blood pressure, and promote energy and vitality. 100% natural ingredients, sweetened with cane juice concentrate, containing naturally occurring polyconsols? I don't even know. That have been found to lower cholesterol. Includes longer-lasting energy elements like vitamin B and ginkgo biloba. What the fuck? That aid in metabolic function and mental alertness. Combines the secrets of true energy that martial arts master and actor Steven Seagal discovered in his travels all over the globe. Steven Seagal just scouring the planet for energy juice.
Just imagine, look up a picture of Steven Seagal from 2016, and imagine him climbing up the side of a mountain, a 90-degree angle, like a fucking horse in Skyrim. Just picking berries off the side of a fucking mountain.
It's so ridiculous.
What an asshole.
Even more ridiculous is the commercial that he made for Steven Seagal's energy drink. And I'm going to pipe some of the audio in because some of it's just too good, but let's take a watch.
Okay. It's called
so dated.
It's 100%
The guy's
natural,
voice.
and it tastes just great. In fact, it's so good, he likes swimming in it.
How's it going, baby?
He likes swimming in it.
Look at 2,000 pants to go to fill this pool.
I feel so sorry for you, but you know what? I really wanted to swim in Steven Seagal's
I'm
lightning
gonna
bolt.
die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. This is it. It's over.
And it's the only energy drink.
I can die happy.
Goji berries
She's
and Asian
filling a
cordyceps.
pool.
I can die happy.
Cans of his energy drink.
Cool, baby. Thank you, man. Everybody just see that?
Pushes her in the pool.
Where'd she get that can?
Lightning bolt comes in two delicious
Oh, it's the answer.
flavors.
She found it at the bottom of the pool.
Asian experience, cherry chard.
Сестричка, я сейчас
Oh,
к
yeah.
тебе
Asian
присоединюсь.
experience is the flavor. Asian
Asian
experience.
Guess
That's
what?
just an ass. I'm a different
Yep.
woman.
You're going to be the king if you drink lightning bolt.
This is unbelievable. I cannot wait. I'm going to Amazon right now.
I don't want to drink it.
Steven Seagal lightning bolt.
It's also going to be 12 years old.
Don't even care.
don't think-
Don't even fucking care. Oh, it's got goji berries. It's good forever.
Yeah, and Asian cordyceps.
Oh,
He scoured the globe for these ingredients, Larry.
By
Martial arts master.
Steven Seagal lightning bolt.
Now, we do have to buy enough cans to fill a pool. That's going to be the challenging thing.
Can
you imagine swimming in an energy drink? Just how sticky and gross it would be.
You just be absorbing it through your fucking pores.
Oh, fucking hell.
Hold on. I think I may have found it.
Oh my god. Don't give him any money.
All right, well, I'll get back to you. This website is gonna take my identity. That's no good. Anyway, that is, oh my god, that commercial. Like, folks, if you're driving in a car, pull over and watch this because it is unbelievable.
It is. It's so ridiculous and low rent and weird and trashy.
Good God. Wow. Okay. I just found a can of it on eBay, Isaac.
How much?
Do you want to guess how much it is?
$30 for a can?
You're drunk if you think it's that cheap. Okay, this one might be an outlier. But this one I found on eBay, $6,900.
Oh my god.
I'm seeing other ones here for like $200 or $300.
Jesus, who would spend that kind of money? Even if you're a huge Steven Seagal fan.
If we were a podcast, if we were on our 400th episode and we had money to blow, I would absolutely get us 2 cans for this.
Yeah, okay. If we had like a recording studio where we had shelves, we could put up like bits of Bowels of Netflix lore.
Yeah, like I could
okay.
buy, like I could get 2 cans for $400 right now. Like if we had money, I would do this just so that we could fucking crack a can each because that is unreal. Wow.
Steven Seagal's lightning bolt. Asian experience, Larry.
Asian experience.
Delicious. Now, Mr. Seagal also is a musician. I think he's released 2 albums. I think they both came out in the mid-2000s. So it was definitely, later in his career. He was already in his 50s by the time he decided to, really take music seriously. And he's okay. Like, he can sing. He's not the best singer. Mm-hmm. And it's obviously he has musicians around him who, make studio-quality music. But it's ridiculous. And we're going to listen to a little bit of my favorite song from his album, Songs from the Crystal Cave.
Oh my god, you have so many clips. You have gone insane with the amount of research you've done.
The song is called Strut, and you have not read the lyrics. I would like you to start reading the lyrics out loud before we listen to the song.
Okay.
And you're going in cold because of your reaction. I've been
Here we go.
So excited for this.
Strut from Songs from the Crystal Cave by Steven Seagal. Girl, what you really want all night? Me want the buddy, make me feel nice? What? Boy, what you really want all night? Me want the punani. C for make nice? She want the buddy, him want the punani, and me know it nice. When the girls start to strut, you could look at her, but you shouldn't do that. Think about just that because... Hold on, what?
I know.
Think about just that because her clothes are just as pretty. They're not... They're not just to cover her kitty.
The clothes are just to cover her kitty.
What? First of all, born in Lansing, Michigan. Lest we forget. What is this fucking English lyric nonsense? Me want the punani, C4 make nice? I would be getting arrested for saying that.
Now, what style of music do you think this is?
Well, I have heard one of his songs, so I do know that it's like blues.
Most of his stuff is bluesy. This is not.
Oh,
So-
no, are you serious?
Let's take a listen.
Okay, what is this?
It's like reggaeton pop. It's so weird.
I can't. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
All right.
I heard that one of these. I heard
I can listen to
Akido
about
in
a
one of
minute
these
of the song,
lyrics.
and that's it.
So it's Now, he normally does, like, blues, so, I mean, it's blues. It's blues. It sounds the same. That was reggae, rap, pop infusion. I don't even know.
I don't know either.
What fresh hell was that?
And you saw the JonTron video with him, like, yelling his bluesman yell on stage.
Yes.
I'm going to pipe in an audio clip of that, too.
I wanna hold the coochie, man. Everybody knows I'm here.
Like, him just going full blues is amazing.
It's just gibberish.
I'm bluesman.
Oh, God's sake.
Oh, boy. And, I mean, we've both seen these, but there's, I have links to videos. We don't have to watch them now, but just him doing Aikido from 2015, which is a sad old man in his 60s, having other people flip around him and taking credit for it. And then even the footage from 1993, again, like, height of his fame. He's still fairly young, fairly athletic, not fat yet, and it still looks ridiculous. Just fake, fake.
It's like, it's just watching him do Aikido, it's so clearly the other person doing the work, which is generally, like, that's how, like, professional wrestling works this way. So for those of you who don't give a fuck about professional wrestling, I'll give you the 2-second sell. It's people trying to make shit look good. And the object is to make your opponent look good by making it look like you get hurt. And that's all Steven Seagal's Aikido is his opponent making him look like $1 million, but badly because he doesn't know how to make himself look good.
Yeah, it doesn't look at all like he is
like he fails
doing
at doing his own fucking bit of making it look like he's doing the work.
It's utterly preposterous. There's plenty of videos of it. You should go check those out, too. Okay, so obviously Steven Seagal is a complicated man in a lot of ways. He occasionally is not the worst.
Yes.
There is a whole thing where I don't know about single-handedly, and I'm not sure how involved he actually was, but was somewhat involved in, I think it was Thailand, getting a law passed to stop the torture of young elephants.
Yes.
I forget exactly how it was happening, but you could just torture elephants for fun. I don't even know. But he helped put an end to that, which is good.
He is very environmentally conscious too, which props for that. Lord knows I do nothing but fart and sleep, so I don't do anything for the environment. And like he tries to bring attention to pollution problems. I know he's brought up like pollution in Mongolia, which looks like it's a hellscape. And who the fuck talks about Mongolia without Genghis Khan? So nowadays, I mean, what do you know about Mongolia in 2020? Nothing. Apparently, they got a pollution problem, and Steven Seagal is trying to bring attention to it. That's admirable. Like he does, he's. I know he's done stuff for like animal rights, other different besides the elephant thing. Like he is conscious about that. Conscious. I can't get that word out about that kind of stuff. And there's that, which is something to be said for him. That he does translate his fame, his bizarre, unearned fame, into some good.
And one interesting reaction on his Facebook page, which I was really surprised by, with his tough guy attitude and his history with the law being as bizarre as it is.
Yeah, and his love of Trump, and his weird fucking, like, doing, he's like a cop, but basically. He thinks he's the world's greatest cop, but he's just like a reserve deputy, which is meaningless.
Yeah, and what surprised me was after George Floyd was killed in June this year, he actually had a post tearing the cops a new asshole for doing that.
Yes.
And not defending them in any way, just saying how fucked up that was.
Yeah,
which I really would have pictured him coming down the other side of that argument.
Right, especially with his Trump love and his Putin love and his, wanting to be this badass authoritarian. You'd think he'd be like, the police got to do what they got to do. But no, he was very much in support of George Floyd, which was a surprising twist and respectable in that case. Because the whole story's bullshit and they all deserve to be murdered. He's not a complete human waste. As much as we'll get to it in a second, because I think I know what this is leading to. But
Yeah.
there's some parts of him that are like, okay, so he's used his fame to try to help the environment, which is something. That's the
Definitely.
one nice thing I can say about him. That's
No
about
one-
to go away in a second.
Yeah. No one is purely good, and no one is purely evil.
Right.
I think that's important to remember. Even and one of the more disarming pieces of footage I've ever seen was Adolf Hitler playing with like I don't know if it was his niece, but
Yeah.
like a little 3-year-old girl, and just playing with her and being really affectionate,
like a human being, like an uncle.
Exactly, right. And you have this image of Hitler as just evil personified, and he is in a lot of ways, but he's also a human being too, and
Right.
no one's purely evil,
Right.
and no one's purely good too.
And yeah, you can look to anyone who's there's nobody who's lived a perfect life, and there's nobody who's lived a completely evil life. It's something. Everybody has something.
Seagal probably has a couple extra skeletons in the closet than your average person.
You don't say.
Yeah, he has not come out unscathed from the Me Too movement.
You don't say.
Believe it or not.
You don't say.
And like obviously none of this is funny or stuff to laugh about.
No, absolutely.
It's
not.
all awful. Just any kind of sexual assault or misconduct is absolutely terrible. I personally, with this kind of thing, like this amount of darkness in the world, I need to find ways to make it funny.
Right.
That's just how I personally deal with it. I have to be able to laugh at how awful this is.
Yeah. That's how I deal with things too. I'm a deeply, in case my fucking joking doesn't get it, I'm a deeply depressed person, and that I deal with that in humor and sarcasm and doing this show and shit like that. And
Yeah,
sometimes
so-
you just gotta laugh, because I laugh. I'm the first person to laugh at myself, and sometimes you just gotta fucking look at the world and make a joke about it, because the other alternative is, I don't know, suicide.
Yeah.
I don't fucking
And I think it's important to, and this is why I think laughter can be useful for this kind of thing, where it's mocking the perpetrator of the crime. And that's why I think making jokes about Jared Fogle being a fucking child pedo is good, because he deserves to be mocked
right.
for that fucking awful behavior. He's a pathetic fucking little weasel.
Yeah.
Jackass. Cocksucking
I
motherfucker.
feel like using comedy to disarm, I'll say, monsters and people who have done bad things is a way to not lend any reverence to them. It's a way to bring them down to a level of just total derision.
Yep. And for anyone who does this kind of shit, Steven Seagal included, just deserves absolute mockery.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, we're not going to get too far into the details of a lot of stuff. But yeah, so Regina Simmons alleged that Seagal fully raped her when she was 18. They had intercourse, and I think she was too confused to like even try to stop it. And it's that kind of weird thing where she kind of let it happen, but also you gotta know in that situation, consent's not being given. Like I don't think that's particularly confusing.
Right.
Like it's obvious when someone's down to clown, and it's obvious when someone's not. So
Yeah.
Steven,
There's just no excuse for that sort of thing.
yeah, and you don't always need to explicitly say no or stop. Yeah, it's a rape. It's awful. As far as I can tell, that's the only accusation of specifically of rape from him. But Fabiola Datis alleged that Seagal sexually harassed her when she was 17. So, yay, not even of legal age. Good job, Steven.
Not surprising to me in any way, somehow. Just the way he presents himself, it's like, yeah, okay, that sounds right. You know?
Yep. He has also done sexual misconduct things of varying degrees to some celebrities, including Portia de Rossi, who's Ellen DeGeneres' wife, and she's also the sister on Arrested Development. That's where I know her from. Jenny McCarthy has also alleged sexual misconduct against Steven Seagal. Juliana Margulies. And this is the one that boggles my mind and is just another level of pathetic bullshit from Steven Seagal.
Just mind-boggling.
Blair Robinson, who's Ray Charles' granddaughter, Seagal offered Blair a job while they were at Ray Charles' funeral. He sees her and he's like, hey, do you want a job? Do you want to be my personal assistant? She's like, yeah, okay, I guess. Sure, thanks. And her first day on the job, she was told that she was required to give him massages and instructed on how to do it. She said it quickly became clear that she was expected to perform sexual favors for him, and she quit after her first day.
Just mean, what a dickhead.
You go to Ray Charles' fucking funeral and scout his fucking family for action.
What an absolute dickhead. I mean,
God
come on.
Damn it. Seagal, come on. Come on.
Fucking piece of shit.
Goddamn miserable fucking horny clown.
Yeah, seriously. So yeah, and I mean, I know there's an interview where he sat down to do some interview with CNN something. I think I had the article pulled up somewhere. I have a lot of tabs open. He sat down to do some interview, and that was the first question they asked was about the misconduct, and he just got up and walked away, like without saying a word. Yeah. So he's been real tight-lipped about it.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So it's my hope that he gets brought down and jailed and appealed. We get to see him appealing to Vladimir Putin to be rescued from jail. Like one of his own films.
I think the more legitimate accusations from the two people who aren't celebrities,
right?
Where they formally accused him and had like a whole press conference, and it's those happened long enough ago. It's beyond the statute of limitations.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem like there's anything incoming that's actually going to put him in jail. But you never know. If you've done this behavior a few times, you've probably done it a few hundred times.
And hopefully this ends his career. I don't think it will. I hope it does. Hopefully that's the end of him we ever see again. Because I believe his last film was 2019, and hopefully that's it.
Curious to see what'll happen, because I bet a lot of his fans. I bet there's an overlap of Steven Seagal fandom and not giving a fuck about the Me Too movement.
Right. I feel like that's probably a thing. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens to him. One other random thing, I have an audio clip I'm going to put into. I forgot about this, but yeah, he has so many different stories of his racial origins.
Oh yeah,
even though basically he's a European mutt, he's just like Irish and French and German and that kind of stuff,
like a lot of Americans.
Yeah, but there's an interview he did where the interviewer says, "Oh yeah, you've said that you have some Mongolian in your family tree. Is that on your mother's side?"
Is it true that also you have a grandmother in your lineage that is Mongolian? Is that true?
Well, no, it's really probably on my father's side, because all I have is a picture of my father's family, and they got pretty slanted eyes and Asian clothes, so they look like Russian Mongols, but I don't know what they are, but they're something Asian.
I'm pretty sure I'm Mongolian.
What a dickhead! What an absolute dickhead!
I don't know what to do with him.
All right, so that I wanted. There's a couple more things now, just to maybe lighten it up a little more after the sexual allegation thing. Because again, hopefully, I'm sure we'll do more of his movies on the show. Because guess what? Most of them are bad. I've opened up his Rotten Tomatoes. And just going down the list, I don't have a count of how many movies there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a lot. It looks like only 4 of them have positive reviews from the Tomato Meter. One of them is Machete, which is like a big, that's like a big ensemble thing. So really, I don't think he's. I'm not going to attribute that to him.
It's not a Steven Seagal movie.
No, and the other one of them is also called Get Bruce, which I've never heard of, which I'm guessing is like something that he's not. Yeah, that's another one with a ton of people in it. So he's just a character. Like that's got Raquel Welch, Bette Midler, Roseanne, Lily Tomlin. Yeah, that's another ensemble thing. There's 2 of his movies that are certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes: Under Siege and Executive Decision, which were 92 and 96. Everything else is bad. And audience scores. There's only 2.
Really?
Even worse. Well, again, 3 counting Machete, but I'm not. That's an ensemble, so I'm not giving that to him. So that just his filmography is just terrible. It's absolutely. I don't understand why. But so I just wanted to just. Do you have anything else like big topics you wanted to go into about this, Isaac?
No, that was pretty much all I had dug up in my research of the man, the mystery, the legend.
We could have talked. We didn't really go into his personal life of his wives.
Oh, he's had several, right?
Which he's had 4. And I think there's like a crossover where he was banging one while he was married to the other and got it annulled so he could keep banging the second one, and then always over the course of like a year. He has. Do you know how many children he has, Isaac?
Oh no. I'm guessing a lot.
Give me a number.
8?
7.
Oh, it's close.
And yeah, he
has
has a daughter. One of them is a daughter by one of the nannies of the other one.
Ah, come on. God damn it. Steven, keep it in your pants.
He is currently married, although and it's just, dear God. But I just wanted to wrap up with, legendarily, and we've talked about this in the past, legendarily, Steven Seagal is believed to have written his own IMDb. Now, it appears to have been changed, because I know in Code of Honor I read some lines from it, and one of them noted his boyish good looks. So that appears to be gone. But I'm going to read just a few things from his biography, and then I just want to read some of his trademarks and some of the trivia, because, my God... the trivia.
Sounds like we're in for a treat. Oh,
so,
boy.
His middle name is Frederick, which, I don't know, Stephen Frederick Seagal. Just fuck you, man.
It's a Mongolian name. His
nicknames on IMDb.
Oh, God.
There's 3. The Great One. The Master of Aikido. And my favorite, Lord Stephen.
What? Lord Stephen? Who calls him that? Who calls him Lord Stephen?
He does, Isaac. He does.
Maybe he makes the nanny call him that while he's balls deep in her.
One of the lines, just a few things out of the bio. The enigmatic Seagal commenced his martial arts training at the age of 7 under the tutelage of well-known karate instructor and author Fumio Demura, and in the 1960s commenced his Aikido training in Orange County, California, under the instruction of Harry Ishisaka. Just enigmatic. He's a 7th Don, I don't know, whatever the hell, I just don't know, and I'm not looking into it. He was instructing wealthy clients in Los Angeles when he came to the attention of Hollywood power broker Michael Ovitz. Don't know who that is. Just, his wife is referred to as Leggy. His wife at the time, Leggy Kelly LeBrock.
Oh my God.
Seagal was by now enormously popular, and his next movie, The Big Budget Under Siege, set aboard the battleship. His biggest movie, he's on a fucking battleship. Just can't... Also, it's called arguably his best film to date. It's one of his only 2 good films.
Hey, Code of Honor sounded pretty good.
No, it was not. It was not. Action fans struggled to come to terms with his social messaging being built into bone-crushing fight films. However, Seagal's box office clout remained fairly strong, which is a lie.
Yeah, Sniper Special Ops direct-to-DVD made $160,000.
So
not much money.
He has 10 trademarks. We're going to go through most of them.
Steven Seagal's lightning bolt.
Ponytail. In all of his films, he is seen holding a Colt M1911A1 semi-automatic pistol. He owns several in his private collection.
Cool.
Uses Aikido in fight scenes. Here we go. Quiet, husky voice. Corrugated eyes.
What?
Could you please explain to me what that means, Isaac? Because I don't know. Corrugated is something I've heard to describe cardboard and nothing else.
Yeah, it's like the cardboard that's got the little stuff in the middle, so it's thicker and stronger.
Towering height.
He's tall.
He's 6'4".
I don't know about towering,
but
I wouldn't call 6'4" towering.
But the next one, hulking frame. He is a large Italian sandwich come to life, so sure.
Yeah.
Aqualine features.
What? Aqualine? What is Aqualine?
I have no idea.
What is this?
Yeah.
This is like a bad dating profile.
Well, as such, let's go through some of the trivia, of which there's 50 pieces of trivia.
Oh, Lord almighty.
And just some of the hits. His love of guitar and appreciation of Rasta music
Well, we've seen that.
led him to study with a teacher in Jamaica, where he owns a vacation home.
And that's where he wrote the song Strut.
His Santa Ynez, California home includes 200 acres planted with Cabernet grapes, which are sold to wineries after harvesting. Cannot believe there's not Steven Seagal brand wine. Please, Lord, let that happen before I die.
Hey, if you let lightning bolt sit long enough, it turns into wine.
The stuff we'll be getting in a couple of years probably will be wine. Has been a bodyguard.
Okay.
Owns a very large collection of guitars and samurai swords. While his acting in Above the Law gained praise from the likes of Roger Ebert, mind-boggling, Seagal has repeatedly faced criticism from both critics and fans who accuse him of playing the same character in many of his movies, as well as displaying a lack of emotional range. In fact, some people refer to embracing typecasting as Seagalism. He is the framework for typecasting. Speaks Japanese fluently, which I guess I believe that. He had a Japanese wife and was spending some time in Japan.
Yeah, he's claimed to speak a lot of languages fluently. There's no footage of him speaking any of those languages.
I need proof on this. He and Jackie Chan are friends, and Chan offered him the role of villain in Rush Hour 3, but Seagal turned it down. That needs to be proven to me before I'll ever believe it.
Absolutely not. There's no way. That would have been a huge paycheck. He would have taken it.
Let's see. Has been visiting children's hospitals for more than 25 years and has stated that he will continue to do so until the day he dies, where I assume he's just murdering children. This is in his trivia. This next one offered his fellow sheriff's deputies free tickets to a concert benefiting the New Orleans Children's Hospital. They accepted the offer and attended the concert.
How is that trivia? How is that trivia? He gave someone a gift. What?
I just don't understand.
Steven Seagal bought a necklace for his wife on their anniversary.
Man, I couldn't find that. I briefly looked. I didn't really look too hard, so it might exist. Apparently has appeared in a Mountain Dew commercial.
That seems about right.
Yep.
Not as good as Lightning Bolt, but you know.
And, well, here's one. By most accounts, he is notoriously difficult to work with. Several actors reported arguments and even brawls with a hot-tempered actor whenever he perceives insults against his person. He is known to openly criticize and belittle cast and crew members on set, and his bankable action hero status in the 90s also had him demand script rewrites on the spot.
God
and
damn it.
To follow up with that, I was looking more into Code of Honor. Now, for those of you who remember, that was my movie I did very early on. It was one of our first movies in the show. And at the end, he dies. Air quotes, the fucking plot is nonsensical and he's probably still alive. He has gone on record saying that he does not believe his character actually died. And the director was like, no, he died. And he argued over and over about how he thought it was ridiculous that his character would die. Because he is just so fucking self-important.
Petty goddamn knob.
And my absolute all-time favorite trivia, besides owning a large collection of guitars and samurai swords, because, my God, that's just material for days. Like a mall ninja is what you call them. My favorite fact, and this is just the fucking ribbon that ties it all together, typically, Seagal spends only 3 hours a day on set.
That sounds about right.
And
doesn't seem like someone who does a lot of takes of scenes.
And the last thing that I wanted to just finish this whole thing off with, as far as I am concerned, is a personal quote. And unfortunately, I don't have a reference for this of where he said it. But on IMDb, the best quote any human being will ever say, and this is from Steven Seagal. And before I say this, folks, I want you to pause the podcast, pull up a picture of Steven Seagal, and look at him while I read this. It's very important to me. Isaac, I need you to do the same thing. Pull up a picture of Steven Seagal and look at him.
Okay.
Quote, I am hoping that I could be known as a great writer and actor someday, rather than a sex symbol.
Oh, Steven.
What a dumpy asshole.
You're a sexual assault symbol, Steven. Goddamn fucking monster.
I just can't even. What's more perfect than that fucking dope calling himself a sex symbol?
Jesus, he wasn't even really that attractive.
No,
when
he
was
looks
younger.
like a ropey weirdo. Like when he was not fat. Like when he was, and I think that's probably one of the reasons he got popular was because he wasn't like Sylvester Stallone or Steven Seagal or Arnold Schwarzenegger, who are like big, muscly bound brutes. He was like a ropey martial arts guy for the 4 years that he was before he decided he liked cheesesteaks more than being thin. And so like I think that there was an attraction there as a movie star to be like, look at this guy who doesn't look like a big muscle bound moron, fighting people. He looks ridiculous. He has never been a sex symbol.
No.
What nonsense quote.
I'm very curious when he said that too.
I need to look into that more, but that just encapsulates the man. And Tony wants to be known as a great... I don't think he's ever written a word in his life besides his name on a check.
He does rewrites on the spot.
Well, yeah, if you call that writing.
He does.
My character shouldn't die here. He's too important.
He would never die.
Just such an asshole.
I'm the 17th reincarnation. I don't die.
So hopefully his career is dead, and we get to laugh at him for the end of time and never have to see anything new he's made.
That would be nice. I'm okay if there's no more news stories about Steven Seagal.
No. Yep.
He can just live out his last days quietly and shuffle off this mortal coil.
Yeah, I think that's
get
for the
reincarnated
best.
Again.
I think that's the best for everybody because he is I don't want to call him an enigma, but
he kind of is.
It's like what I just don't understand. Like all these things rolled together. Like this is all stories about the same guy. This is the same guy who killed the fucking dog with a tank into a cockfighter's house. Lest we forget.
Oh my god.
Just side by side in a tank with a fucking torturer of men.
What do you even say?
I think we've said enough, man. That's just what a man.
Living with him is like going to sleep in the same bed as him.
I can't imagine. I truly cannot imagine. He is something else. There's so much more. There's so much more. Like, we covered the big hits, but, like, you could just YouTube his name, and there's so many celebrity stories talking about, like, what working with him is like, and just the little things of, like, he's such an... We didn't even talk about Saturday Night Live. Well, we did. We've talked about it in the past, but, like, he is one of the only people banned from ever coming back because they hated him so much, and he was so unfunny. Yeah, and, like, Lorne Michaels, the guy behind Saturday Night Live, has said, like, he is the worst host we've ever had. Like, there's so many stories of celebrities who just crossed paths with him, like, once. And we're just like, what the fuck? Who are you? And why are you speaking to me like this?
Oh, God. Fucking prick. Mm-hmm. Fucking clown prick.
Yep. Clown prick. Clown prick of crime.
Well, Steven, it's been an honor being in your presence.
It's so weird because, like, we made fun of Spaghetti, but I'm a fan of Spaghetti de Coco. Like, I want him to come back. He's the hero of his story. Steven Seagal is only the villain of every story he's ever been in.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck him. I'll fight him to the death.
Steven.
I'll fight him to the death.
Oh, you're joining the Dirty Dozen?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Dirty
I'm starting a
Baker's
new
Dozen now?
Dirty Dozen. I'll fight Steven Seagal to the death. Fuck it. I can do it.
Just push him down a flight of stairs.
Well,
won't be able to
he'll
get
never
back
get
up.
up it. He'll never get near
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah.
That'd be impossible. That's the secret.
Oh, God. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening to our deep dive of Steven Seagal.
Yeah. Hopefully a fun little diversion from talking about movies.
Yeah, and hopefully there's no more of his movies on Netflix, because I can't stand to watch another one. Hopefully he's banned.
He's gonna be. He'll be on the bowels of Netflix again, I think. But
I know.
we need a break because it's only so much.
We're Stevened out.
Yeah. I mean, what else is there left to talk about? Fucking.
Her clothes aren't just there to cover her kitty, Larry.
I'm gonna have to listen to that whole album now.
Some of the songs aren't as cartoonishly bad, but it's just kind of like boring blues.
I can't.
All right, well, thanks for listening. We'll see you on Sunday.
Yeah,
for our
like and
regularly
subscribe.
scheduled
Do all the
programming.
things. Hide your grandma's medication and the first part of that. But just do that. But I mean, also the rest. We appreciate you taking extra time out, if you listen to this, a little extra time out of your week to give us some more attention. So deeply appreciated. And we have a lot of fun doing all these. And I really enjoy doing the side bits where we can look into these bizarre stories and celebrity history.
The man, the myth, the legend, Steven Seagal. We love you, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Oh, smell you later.